In mind, let's get a read on all of the themes set to drive markets this week. Pete McGuire from XM joins us now live. Pete, do you agree with that sentiment? There's obviously lots going on across a broad asset class at the moment. Let's maybe start with those equities. Does it have enough left in the tank to see new record highs, do you think?
Yeah, the rope-a-dope. Good morning, Kara. Maybe it has. We're really seeing that continued drive forward and an uptick as far as NASDAQ. So it's not surprising. And I think that, that absolute momentum seems to be just grinding on. So, yeah, I think so. It's we've got sector rotation. We've got some parts of the market that are very shaky at best. And you've got the big drivers and the big, the holding companies and the big monsters that are just, defying gravity. So that's where I'm looking at the moment. And I think all traders are pretty much got a similar mindset.
Well, Pete, life is back to those currency markets, the Australian dollar in particular, seeing a bit of a move last week. Of course, we do have Jackson Hole this week, so all eyes on what the Fed will be doing. Is this a US dollar story or is it a local Australian dollar story, given that backdrop of commodity prices, do you think?
Well, I think it's two of both, no doubt, Kara. I mean, what we saw on Thursday was nothing short of biggest fall in history as far as iron ore prices. All the commodities have really been spanked down. So, and of course, crude oil. So it's, race to the bottom. The other side, of course, is that US dollar index sitting at about 93.5. Are we going to see something close to 94 before Powell comes out later this week, Chairman Powell, and we work through all of those rumblings? Are we going to see taper cuts? I don't think anyone's got a clear indication or understanding of really what's in Jay Powell's mind. And we've got, a slew of data coming out today and tomorrow. So across the UK and across Eurozone. So I think everyone's very mindful. Euro is nearly at 1 year lows. And I think that could continue.
Pete, just having a look at some of the data that you've put in your note for this week, the Australian dollar, the worst performer last week. Does it look oversold at these levels, do you think?
Maybe, but I think there's even, the unknown as far as the lockdown. So there's possibly even further downsides yet. I'm not suggesting we're going to hit a 70 handle, but we may crack through 71. So that seems to be where the momentum is at the moment. And it's just, softness. We understand the position with China. We understand what's going on as far as I mentioned, iron ore prices. So there's not a lot of good news stories internationally from currency trading. And I think that, you possibly will. I mean, where is it sitting at the moment? We're around about that 71.36. We're not too shy from, breaching 71, Kara. So that could be the momentum to the downside over the next matter of, 2 or 3 days.
Well, we'll be watching, Pete. Just to refer back to that tweet that we had a look at earlier, when it comes to gold, the tweeter said, damn, what to do next? It is a conundrum, isn't it, for a lot of those gold traders? How do you play this one?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's at 1783. It's just really nothing showing. It's that US dollar strength. I think that's the storyline at the moment. Traders really haven't flocked to it. Maybe everyone's been short other markets, and that's been where the money's been made. If you're looking at where the energy sector was, it's just been an incredible short, really, from the end of June. So over that 6-week period, Kara, we're nearly off, 16, 17%. So that's probably where all the smart money traded, and equities just grinding higher. So if you roll those together, maybe that's where all the focus has been and where all the smart money has picked up incredible profits over that, Northern Hemisphere summer.
And Pete, I know you've always got a keen eye on the crude market, oil price action. What are we seeing?
Yeah. What I'm seeing is softness. What I'm seeing is 65, maybe a 64 handle for Brent. It's currently at about 65 and a quarter. And you've got WTI ready to smack through 62. It's 62.17. So well off their $75 highs that we experienced 6 weeks ago, Kara. So are we going to see sub 60? And that really is the whole storyline. The lockdowns, what's going on as far as Delta variant, where's some blue sky for the energy sector? And what we saw on Thursday really gave us an indication as far as iron ore prices and all of that rolling across to a lot of the other base metals. So, softness and until we see some form of reversal.
Pete, just quickly before you go, what's the trade of the week in your mind?
Trade of the week, I think, is still continuing to be US equities and, the big as far as NASDAQ, and keep a close eye on if crude does bounce. But I think the US dollar index also short the euro. Maybe it's a week just to sit back. There's been plenty of money made from traders over the last, 2 months. So maybe it's a time just to consolidate, look what Jay Powell's rumblings are, and really watch the media over the next couple of days as far as those flash PMIs coming out and so on.
Pete, sounds good. Thanks so much for joining us, as always, from XM.
Thank you, Kara. Take care.